Okay, so we're pre-sloping all of the soil inside the barn floor. The soil in this area has a high clay content, and so I'm being very careful to get the water away from the site as soon as possible. Because the clay soil has the possibility to expand with water, and then that may potentially heave some of my foundation and maybe cause cracking and stuff like that. So we're being especially careful to make sure we evacuate all of the water. You might have seen a previous video about the exterior foundation drain outside the perimeter of the building, where we pre-sloped all the soil and then added rocks and a filter fabric and a foundation drain. We've subsequently covered it over with another piece of fabric and this soil to hold the fabric down in a high wind. But we're pre-sloping the inside in here. It's probably a little not typical for a structure, but we're gonna fill this all with gravel, and I don't want it to become a swimming pool during the rest of this construction project, because that's going to be putting water under our footer, and that's not going to be great. So we're sloping everything. I don't know if you can kind of tell this. It's like high here, and then it drops down to where the drain is, and then that drops down to that drain, and so on, and this slopes to this drain, and the drain goes through the wall here and then all the way around in solid pipe to daylight. So the interior drain is separate from the exterior drain, so that the water catchment area of the inside of the building doesn't feed water to the footer on the outside. So as soon as it enters that section right there, it's solid pipe the rest of the way. So any water collected in here, as soon as it passes the brick line, it's in solid pipe outside. This is our Radon pickup from the gravel. We're gonna pull this cap off and then filter fabric the end of it, and then so it'll have plenty of uptake from the inside of the building here onto the slab and outside the barrier. So this pipe is going to have filter fabric underneath of it, and then we're actually going to finish sloping this and get it all perfect, and then we're going to put plastic on it, 6 mil plastic, all the way down to right about, within 6 inches of the pipe. We're not going plastic all the way, because if water gets underneath of the plastic, I don't want it to be trapped on the other side of the plastic and sealed away from the drain pipe. We want to be able to catch that water so it can percolate up through the filter fabric at that point. So it's a loose plastic. Think of it like a roof shingle, where it's just gonna lay down, and then the water from rain can fall through the gravel and then sheet over towards the drain, keeping most of this area dry. It's not watertight, but we're just trying to shed the bulk water directly to the drain and get rid of it as quickly as possible. So I have some rough-ins for car chargers here. So we have interior insulation on this concrete of 4 inches. So I made this like kludgy looking block out to get the pipe coming up in the right spot, to clear the insulation and have enough room for the connector. I'm doing Schedule 80 reinforced embedded connectors in the slab, so we'll have zero exposed PVC. It'll be steel pipe up on the inside. So the PVC is going to be restricted to under the concrete. And then that's the second one. So both of these are car chargers. And then there's another car charger here. These two electric conduits are sleeves for future expansion. Although future, I've already got wires to put in both of them, so it's not exactly future. This is the stub out for the water lines. So I think I talked about this previously, but there's 4 water lines underneath here. And this giant pipe is just to hold the airspace so I can dig this up easily in the future. So those water lines are underneath of the dirt here, and they're sleeved under the footer. So frost is down to the bottom of the footer and the water pipes are below that. And they're only buried superficially under some of this dirt because obviously they're inside the building. So those water lines are stubbing up over here. So we've got those 4 water lines, and then 1 to the new house, 1 out to the yard, and then the last one here is in from our well, existing well. So we bricked up this hole too, and then these are some of our electric conduits for inside here. Again, it's the 1, 2, 3 car chargers. This is a connection to the well. So that actually has wires in it already. And for the purposes of this job site, I need to power that right now. So I have this Leviton flanged inlet. So it's kind of like a cord plug that's embedded in a outdoor cover. And so I'm going to mount that on that box, which I reduced down, and I just have the conductors there. So I'll be able to plug a cord into that and power the well back up. And this well conduit runs down over underground all the way to the corner over there, and then out to an existing well wire that we connected to. So we're going to have a trough here that connects with a through wall sleeve here to the other side, where we're going to have another trough, and then the other trough is going to land these conduits. The one on the top is for internet data, that's why its depth is different, but it's going to land these 4 conduits plus a couple more connections, and we're going to rough in the feed towards the house where that blue water line goes, because the house is up there. And then this sewer line here is going to run along here. We're going to run it down inside this hillside here. And then I have a 4-inch hole sleeved already here at the correct drop. So we're going to punch that block out and knock out the sleeve and run our sewer drain through there, and that's going to slope downhill back to where I was just looking at the drain over there, obviously. And then we're going to Y into it, and then we're going to stub it out towards the new house too, so we can get out of this hole, so this building can progress, and we'll have a future tie-on for internet, power, water, and sewer all stubbed out into a couple trenches off to the side outside of the backfill, because as you can tell, this depth is pretty deep, and then that hill up there is actually coming over level, and it's going to tie onto that. So this is going to be really, really deep, and I don't want to be trying to dig it up in the future. So I'm going to get it out onto the normal depth ground as quickly as possible. So again, outside drain covered over, ready to go. We have some more waterproofing coming, but we're sneaking up on it. All the counterforts are done, waterproofed and everything. And I'm just trying to get this in-ground stuff in here done. And I was actually, some of these pipes, like this one right here, I actually removed from the ground under the old building. And you can see how they have this like funny bend in it, because it went around some kind of a thing in the past, and I was able to salvage these pipes and reuse them, so they're not waste or laying around. I'll get all these perfectly level. I'm waiting on some 1.5-inch clamps because these 2-inch clamps are too big. And I'm gonna sleeve all these water lines temporarily, and then I'm gonna have a second set of unistrut clamps up here so I can get them all perfectly vertical, and the same thing with these conduits. Adjusting these is no problem. We'll get them all fixed up before we progress, but that's what we're doing. Again, the pre-slope is what's the important part for me. We're gonna have the plastic from here over to right up next to this drain. So we'll just sheet the water from the rain directly to the drain, get it into that drain pipe and get it out of the hole here. In a previous video, I talked about this job site flooding, and that was really, really unpleasant. So I really want to avoid that situation once I put all the gravel in here. Having a giant subterranean gravel swimming pool is not a fun, enjoyable idea. So, hence the interior foundation drain system. So, anyway, that's where we're at today. Hope that looks cool. Thanks.